Thought I'd just do a quick one on some of the fertilisers I use and some of the things I use for anyone that's curious. This is one of the fertilisers I use here, or well, I'm not going to call it a fertiliser, but I'm going to call it a treatment, a soil treatment. It's definitely worth looking into and buying. This is a seaweed solution. Now, in no way am I affiliated with this brand or even promoting it or anything. Any of these brands work. They're all around about the same, but as you can see, stimulates root growth and all the good stuff. I'll just quickly duck out and show you the. I said I'm not affiliated with any of these brands. I'm not a, I'm not a stickler for whatever brand, but this is the solid fertiliser I use. It's just an NPK fertiliser, a blend. So, quickly show you the back of it. You can see the ratios there. Gives you a bit of a name. Like, obviously, I'm in Queensland, not Western Australia, but that's your basics. This is what I do with all the dries. All goes in here. Now this is a 3 kilo bucket. I keep the buckets too, but I put 3 kilos in here the other day, and I think it was 2.5 kilos of blood and bone in here. And the other thing you can see in there, that little pallet looking thing that almost looks like that there is a dynamic lifter. So I usually buy a 20 kilo bag of dynamic lifter, or a 15 kilo bag, sorry. I'll dump that entire 15 kilos in there. I'll put 2 of those in there as well, and then I'll put 2 or 3 bags of blood and bone in there. And this is also the same blend that I put in for my liquid fertiliser. So this here, usually what I'll do is I'll put a lot of dynamic lifter in it. When I put the dynamic lifter in, that's when I usually scoop a heap out, throw it in a big bucket, and create liquid fertiliser out of it. And so you're not having to dig this in all the time. You can water it down a bit and put it on top of your ground and let it soak into the roots. Very similar to the first liquid fertiliser I showed you, but this one's full of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphate as well. And then you throw the dynamic lifter in there, which is basically just like processed chook shit and stuff like that. And the blood and bone's obviously just literally blood and bone. It's, you could probably make it yourself if you wanted to. You could probably get some blood and let it dry out in the sun, and break it all up and throw it into a bucket, and maybe go get some old bones or something and let them maybe even dry them out in the oven and put them through a grinder of some sort, crusher or a grinder, and smash them up. Same thing I would assume, but I also add a lot of eggshells to my gardens, and that helps with my tomatoes, because I end up, when you don't have enough calcium, you end up with blossom end rot in your tomatoes. So I add as many eggshells as I possibly can get, or because we eat a fair few eggs, so I keep all those eggshells. I dry them out in the oven. I usually chuck them in a bag, crush them up, and just spread them through my gardens. When I've got tomato plants up, I will sprinkle them around them a little bit, and that does 2 things. It puts a little bit of calcium in the soil from the finer eggshell that sort of soaks in a bit when you water them, but it also keeps the slugs and snails away from them, because the eggshell cuts them up. They don't like going over eggshells. But I think the same result, you'd probably get the same result with maybe some Epsom salts. I have heard Epsom salts is good for your tomatoes and whatnot, and I haven't quite tried it yet, but it's probably on the list. I might give it a crack this year. Gonna have a fair few tomatoes in, so as I said, I thought I'd just give you a quick rundown on the fertilisers and stuff and additives I use. Obviously I use a lot of compost, cow manure, chook manure, stuff like that. It all goes straight into the garden. I have plenty of time throughout the heat of the year to allow everything to just break down and go into my soils, and then I just turn it over and top everything up, and away I go for the growing season again. Yeah,